Good afternoon. I hope everyone enjoyed the restful Thanksgiving holiday last week. Thank you again for joining today's workshop. My name is Vartuhi Andreasyan, and I am the Business Counseling Manager at PACE Business Development Center. My apologies if my voice is not at least at its best today. I have been dealing with a cold over the last few days. So as you may already know, PACE, we are a nonprofit community-based development organization, and we are celebrating 50 years of service this year. We have many programs, including early childhood education, workforce development, energy efficiency, business development, and many more. Through our Business Development Center, we support entrepreneurs in the Southern California by offering business counseling, procurement assistance, and access to capital. I would also like to add that under the City of Los Angeles, there are 10 BusinessSource Centers, and PACE operates 2 of them, Pico-Union Westlake at the Hollywood Center. So we are also an SBA microlender, EDA and iBank lender, and we are a certified CDFI. So we have our own lending arm. So today's workshop is the last from the three series workshop we had with Kong. These sessions are made to give you helpful tools to avoid burnout, build your leadership skills, and lead in a real and genuine way. I would like to thank Kong, who is the founder of Onward People. Who is the founder and owner of People Onward, and who is leading, these sessions. He voluntarily did, these 3 workshops for us, and we may continue to do more with him in coming year. We are scheduling another 3 sessions, so I will share the schedule with you, and if you will be interested, please go ahead and join us, for those sessions. As always, we'll wrap up with a Q&A session, so feel free to write your questions in the using the Q&A box, or you can use also chat. So I will try to monitor all. So and at the end, you can unmute yourself, and you can ask the questions if that would be the case. So with that, I will hand it over to Kong to introduce himself and to start the workshop. Thank you again.
Thank you, Vartuhi. I appreciate the introduction, and thank you so much, you all, for joining me today. I hope your Thanksgiving holiday was a wonderful one, and I'll be presenting most of the time, so I'll be talking. Feel free to interject at any time. Vartuhi will be helping me to check the chat message, so feel free to put your message in the chat box as I'm presenting. So with that being said, I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Vartuhi, are you able to see my screen? It's like you're on mute. Okay. Well, it seems like people are saying yes, they do see it. So thank you for confirming that. I'm gonna put that on presenter mode.
I'm sorry, I was mute. Yes, we can.
Okay, good. Sorry, give me 1 second here. There seems to be some technical difficulties on my end here. I'm trying to. Let's try that one. Let's this. Okay. All right, everyone. Thank you again. Welcome to Purpose, Power, and Presence, webinar about leading from within, a journey of self-discovery and leadership. My name is Kong Shang. I'm the founder and CEO of People Onward. Our mission is to unlock the full potential of people everywhere, to drive high performance and impact, as well as achieve purpose, meaning, and fulfillment in their work and lives. So a little bit of my background, I bring 15 years of experience in the leadership development space, as well as management consultant. I've worked at some of the world's top leadership development companies, where I've successfully helped clients drive high performance through talent management, as well as help them, improve their leadership skills by applying my creative insight, innovation, and talent. Overall, I bring passion into my work. I've helped my clients be successful by equipping them with the right mindset, tools, and skill set to really drive change, to transform the organization, business, as well as their life. For today, the agenda, we're going to cover the definitions of power, presence, in peace. We're also going to be doing the framework, cover some of the framework around those definitions, as well as I'll walk you through some exercises. And then also we'll discuss what transformative leadership looks like. A lot of the work that I do is really about transformation. And so it's really about positive change. And then at the end of the session, we'll do some Q&A. So you could either put in the chat your questions while I'm presenting, or wait till the end and we could address those questions. As I mentioned, this work is meant to be to change your mindset in ways that you wouldn't have otherwise thought of before. So the definition of purpose is really about the driving force behind our actions. It provides direction, motivation, as well as it helps challenges and empowers us in meaningful ways that create lasting change and impact. Some of the questions that we might ask ourselves as it relates to purpose are: what inspires me and motivates me? What activities makes me lose track of time? There's this concept of flow state. When you're in flow state, it means that you've lost track of time. You're in your work, you're deep in it, and you love what you do, and everything just kind of blurs out, right? So think about, like, whether you like to surf or you would like to work out or choose a passion, and you're completely so focused that you've lost track of time. And that's, in a sense, tapping to your purpose. And then, what gives you deep meaning and fulfillment? Purpose it should be an inner compass. It's the why behind what you do. It's not just about your job. It's not just about your goals. It's a deep reason you get up every day. And purpose shouldn't have to be grandiose. Sometimes people think purpose should be ultimately something big and all encompasses. It could be a conversation with a friend, talking about, what does purpose mean to you? How does it show up in your life? It just needs to be true to your values and who you are as a person, and makes you feel alive and needed. The one thing that I would mention is that you should always be talking about purpose if you really want to live it. It's almost like a habit, like a muscle. You exercise it to build that muscle. Purpose is kind of like that. You have it every day. You talk about it with friends and family. You think about it every day, just to keep yourself on track about your North Star, where your life and your career is headed to. So understanding power is the ability to influence others and create change. It encompasses both personal strength and the capacity to inspire growth and stability in you, in people, in teams, and organization. Your ability to act, create, and choose is a sense of power. Power does come from within. In the leadership space, we say leadership is about leading from within, and that's the same thing with power. Power is, you get power by understanding who you are, your authentic values and purpose, right? And then once you understand that, you can leverage it to maximize and make an impact in those around you, your teams, your organization, your communities. And power fuels purpose. Without power, there's no purpose. And so you want to make sure that, you understand how power shows up, and it's really about your ability to influence. And, one thing that I would say is that a lot of people do tend to give their power away. And, we do that from time to time without thinking. one example of that is, I'm worried about what other people might think about the way that I dress, the way that I think, the way that I talk, right? And so that's kind of, in a sense, giving your power away without you even realizing it. And so only another example of it is also through perfectionism as well, too. You always have to be perfect in order to execute a project, or look perfect in order to get accepted, be loved. And so these are, in a sense, you're people pleasing, and a lot of it comes from fear of judgment. And so you want to please people in order to feel accepted. And that, in a sense, is giving your power away. And so the first step is really to reclaim your power and noticing where it is leaking. Where are you giving your power away? Because those are the patterns or habits that can drain your influence. And if you want to be in a position of influence, you have to have power. So when it comes to presence, it's really about the ability to engage fully in the moment, to really create an environment of warmth and focus that inspires you, those around you, as well as enhances both you and their leadership skills. Presence can sometimes speak louder than words. So when you're in a meeting and you're being interrupted as you were speaking, instead of responding to the person that interrupted you, you just pause, right? Using the pause principle with 3 to 5 seconds and look at the person. That in itself is power, right? So it doesn't always have to be loud. And presence is also about being proactive versus reactive. You're always taking action, right? And you're building trust. You're also influencing others, and it also it increases your leadership effectiveness. The one thing I would say is that, presence is really your opportunity to hold space for others, and really appreciate them, because what that does is it makes them feel seen and heard, as well as it allows you to sit back and reflect on that moment, as you're analyzing the situation at hand. You don't need hours and hours of meditation. This is one of the things that people are misinformed by presence, is that you have to be a meditator. You have to pause and reflect for long periods of time, and it doesn't have to be. It could be pretty simple, as simple as taking a step back and have just a couple seconds of breathing, right? Or whether that's walking out of a room when you're in a heated debate and you're taking a breather for a couple of minutes and coming back to the room to discuss the situation. So like, these are small acts, small practices. It doesn't have to be intimidating. So I'd love to take you all through a breathing technique. And it's optional. You could choose to participate. If not, no worries. But this breathing technique has helped me in my leadership effectiveness. It has helped me be more in tune with my authenticity, how I show up with connection, and really build relationships with not just my peers, but my clients, as well as my community members. And so this technique is what I call the box breathing 4-4-4 technique. And it's really about getting yourself grounded in the moment. And again, I'll take you all through it. What I'd like for you all to do is get comfortable by sitting tall. You can close your eyes and relax your muscles. Make sure that your feet is planted flat on the ground. Rest your hands gently on your lap. And if it feels comfortable, close your eyes and soften your gaze. And as we settle in, I want you to take a slow breath in through your nose and exhale gently through your mouth. And let your shoulders drop and your jaws unclench. All right, so we're going to start the exercise. So we'll do a simple box breathing technique. I'll guide you through it as I mentioned. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then exhale slowly through your mouth for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold again for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. We're going to repeat this 2 more times. So again, inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale slowly through your mouth for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, last round. Again, inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale slowly through your mouth for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now, make sure that your eyes are open again and you're back up. And I just want to just quickly check in now that you've been through this box breathing technique. How did it go for you? Put in the chat, let me know. The intention here is really to, make sure that you're setting some realistic expectations throughout your day and really be present in the moment so that you can really show up with people the way that you should be showing up at the meeting. So on to our next slide here. And Batui, make sure if there's anyone making any comments or questions, feel free to interject as I'm presenting.
Actually, there are comments, some participants, they commented that, like someone said, I'm happier, I feel more present in my body. Another one is nice and calming, presence is better, feel clear-headed, more relaxed, thanks. So there are a couple of good comments. And
Perfect.
I myself practice it and it's very relaxing.
That's good. Perfect. Thank you all for sharing. Again, it's a very powerful technique. It could be very simple, but yet so powerful and profound and can really change your leadership effectiveness. So feel free to incorporate that into your leadership journey. So frameworks here. So talk a lot about frameworks in my work, and really I like to operate from frameworks. And this framework is really about exploring interconnection between purpose, power, and presence, which are the vital components of effective leadership and personal development. By understanding these elements, you can really truly transform the leadership journey. So as we had already discussed about all through the definitions, I like to, because I'm a visual learner and I want you all to take away as a visual from this presentation, think of purpose as a compass, right? A compass is a metaphor for purpose. It symbolizes, finding your true path or your North Star. It guides, directs, and navigates you through life's challenging and moments of happy moments as well. It helps you stay on course to achieve your life's goals and mission. A compass is great because it reminds you of always being forward thinking, always be on this path of evolution, even when times are uncertain and times of change, right? Compass is really a way to, get yourself back on track and really be on a direct path without feeling lost. When it comes to power, I like to use the symbol of a tree. Think about a tree. It represents resilience, personal growth. Trees are potent symbols of power due to their representation of life, strength, and interconnectedness between earth and the nature. They embody resilience because they're they're strong, they're stable, they're connected uh, both on earthly and spiritual realms. You look at the roots of a tree, I mean, they can expand quite long and keeps them grounded. And the ability to withstand any storm or harsh weather conditions is what makes trees so powerful. As well as they can live up to 100 years, if not more, some trees, right? And so it's a great analogy of what power really stands for. The candlelight is a reflection of a symbol of presence. Think about, it illuminates your inner presence, your inner potential. It represents light. It's a focal point of meditation, prayer, or ritual. The flame itself can be seen as a connection to a guide or higher power of hope and helps you set intentions for the future. Now, images like these can help you because it provides clarity and direction and guidance. When they work all together, it helps you lead from a place of deep connection and authenticity, and that's where transformation happens. Not just for you, but also those that you influence. I have a client that I worked with recently, and they said, they came to me because they were overworked, fulfilled, and not connected to the true self. But once they worked with me, they were able to be more aligned in purpose. They were able to reclaim their power and practice presence daily. And they've noticed their leadership transform because of their impact with those that they help, that they work with, and their clients. And it also has transformed their marriage and business as well. So again, leadership is not just about business, it's also about how do you lead in your household? How do you lead in the community? So I'm very happy that my client Andrew here was able to transform both his leadership in his personal and professional life. So one of the things that I would encourage you all to do is do some journaling, because it helps you reflect on your thoughts and your understanding of how power is being defined, power and presence and purpose is being defined in your leadership journey, as well as those around you. And so some of the things that can help you explore more about your purpose are questions that you could ask yourself. What are your core values? What gives your life meaning and direction? And you might even want to reflect on moments that make you feel fulfilled, right? Like, these are questions that are often meant to help you become more purposeful. And so, by having these questions, you're able to define more about what that is to you. And the second column here is really about power reflection. So it's really about taking the moment to reflect on your strengths and weaknesses, but primarily your strength, and how your strengths are able to influence you and those around you. And then what did you learn from the situations where you've made an impact, right? In people's lives, and what were some of those ways your actions really showed up for people and changed the trajectory of their lives. It's important to not only reflect, but also write it in a journal, because it keeps track of your progression, where you are in the spectrum of power, purpose, and presence. And then the third column here is really about incorporating presence through mindfulness techniques, right? Either that's through meditation or through breath work, or just be more present in the moment. How does presence show up in your life? How are you able to cultivate it? Are you practicing it with your team? with your family members, like how are you showing up, right? With presence. And then reflect on times when you truly felt engaged and connected. How can you cultivate more of that state? Because at the end of the day, presence is really about a state of being. It's really about, um, you know, in leveraging that presence, in order to connect with others in a way that's authentic and true. When it comes to practices, engaging in these practical exercises can really enhance your leadership skills. As I mentioned, it also helps you deepen your relationship with those around you, and also you get to understand more deeply about these concepts in order to enhance your personal professional journey. As I mentioned, journaling is one of these things where you can help you reflect on your leadership journey as well as how purpose, power, and presence show up in your life. And it really also levels up your self-awareness. Leadership, you need to have a high level of self-awareness in order to understand who you are as a leader and also those around you. You might even want to participate in group discussions, right? Like collaborating with your peers or other high potential leaders such as yourself, fostering insights, connections, and really share each other's experiences can really expand your perspective and knowledge about these concepts. And then goal setting is also another practical exercise. You can incorporate these concepts into your life by establishing actionable goals allows you as a leader to track your progress and maintain focus on your vision and values. We didn't really talk about vision and values previously, but one of the things that I've witnessed by working with some of the world's top leadership development experts in the field is that they're very values based. And what that means is that they know who they are. They have these 3 to 5 values that they hold on to that's very near and dear to their heart. And they live it daily. They do the best they can to live it daily. So an example of a value could be authenticity or integrity. One of the things that a high potential leader or a high performing leader might ask themselves is, how am I showing up with authenticity to them? And am I connecting deeply with my peers, with my team, with my division leaders through authenticity, right? Like that's just an example of a leader asking themselves, and they're really incorporating these exercises into their leadership journey in order to be more effective as a leader. And there are several goal setting frameworks that are out there. You probably have heard of SMART goals or OKRs, right? Like those are just standard basic goals that you can leverage in order to implement into your leadership journeys and incorporate these concepts of purpose, power, and presence so that you can be more effective as a leader. When it comes to transformative leadership, it's really about inspiring others and fostering room for growth and opportunities, right? That's within your teams, within your division, within your organization. It's really demonstrating the power, purpose, and presence and connection. And the key principle I like to mention here when it comes to transformative leadership is really about authenticity. It's how are you able to create a psychologically safe environment for people to create trust and inspire each other to engage and activities that are shared visions, right? The intent here is really to identify commonalities, commonalities in your values, in your shared vision, in your mission, and then really supporting each other through authenticity in order to grow together as a team or as an organization. As you know, leadership isn't there's no such thing as I, right? If you're operating from a ego standpoint, like this is about me because I'm a leader, then you've already failed as a leader. Because great leadership is really about being of service to others. How are you showing up in service of your team, of your organization? So it's really about we and not I, or not me. Impactful actions, leaders who take decisive actions demonstrate commitment, and they have the ability to instill trust in people because they make decisions quite quickly. And they also are able to motivate others easily to follow suit and drive results. great leaders influence and make impact in that sense. And so as you're cultivating and aligning these concepts of power, purpose, and presence, also think about how your actions impact others in ways that could either drive change or could hinder their performance, right? And so that's something to keep in mind. And then, of course, transformative leadership is really aiming at lasting change, right? Long term, it's not short term. And you do that by fostering a culture of transparency, collaboration, open communication, which leads to sustainable growth, and also improves your team and organization as a whole, right? Organizations and companies that tend to be around long term, they set goals not just short term, but also long term. The vision is not just short term, but also long term. And they aim for impact, which is not just short term and long term. So you get the point. The point here is that we're aiming for transformative leadership, which is long term. The one thing I would also like to say here is that when it comes to these concepts of purpose, of power, presence, and present purpose, power, and presence, is that they are all the cornerstones of aligned life. And if you're an entrepreneur that is stressed out, does not enjoy of your work, you don't find a lot of meaning, maybe because you're misaligned with your purpose. And so by tapping into all three of these pillars and understanding how they connect with one another can really help you become more magnetic and grounded as a leader, so that your impact as a leader can be greater. So this is a diagram of purpose, power, and presence. And I'd like to put in a diagram because I myself like diagrams and just images, right? And so if you look on the left side, it's really about purpose. Like purpose drives your vision and direction, right? It's like this all encompasses thing that helps you focus on your vision and direction. And then in the middle is your uh, it's power. It's, how are you showing up with authenticity and confidence that empowers effective leadership? Power isn't just about, taking control. In fact, control is the opposite of what power is. Like true power is really about understanding who you are as a person and as a leader, and then connecting with yourself and using that leverage to connect with other people to drive change. And then on the right side is presence. Presence is what cultivates connection with others. So once you're able to understand your why, your purpose, and how you connect with people through authenticity, how are you cultivating presence? You cultivate it by showing up, being present, listening to those around you as they speak, and giving them time, right? Employees, if you're an entrepreneur, employees love to be seen. They love that their ideas matter, that their ideas are contributions, right? And so by offering them the time and allowing them to speak their mind and their opportunity to contribute, really is an indication that you're a leader that allows for presence to show up in the lives of your team. So, 80%, so decisive leaders who empower their employees, giving those closest to the work that allows for autonomy, and allows for decision making, are 85% more likely to improve the quality of organizational decisions compared to their peers. So basically, and this is a study done by McKinsey, is saying that if you're a leader and you allow for room for autonomy, you instill inspiration, you empower your teams to perform at the best by giving them decisions so that it doesn't create bottlenecks. You're allowed for them to sell, right? And when you do that, you create a culture of performance, and you can outperform your competitors 85% of the time. And so it's definitely, when you understand these concepts, it definitely does impact the outcome of your goals as well as your long-term success as a business. So as a key takeaway here, we discuss how to define purpose, um, and power and presence, but also how do you incorporate them into your leadership journey? And then questions that you can ask yourself in order to deepen that understanding. And then harnessing the power of authenticity. Uh, when you're at your most powerful self is when you've leveraged authenticity in your leadership journey. Um, and by cultivating presence, you're able to be more in tune with your emotions and those around you. And you incorporate that through daily exercises, right? Mindfulness practices like the box breathing technique and the meditation and journaling, and those are all great exercises to help you cultivate more presence into your leadership. And then taking bold steps towards impactful change. You're not just here to exist, you're here to lead in whatever sphere you're called to. By aligning your purpose and reclaiming your power, you're really embodying presence, and you're ready for deeper connection. And you're making a profound change in your lives. And so, um, this was, I know, a shorter webinar, but I think in digital age and age of information, we're overloaded with a lot of information, and so I want to be able to give something that's concrete, that's simple, easy for you to take away. And if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to reach out to me, my email, my phone number, as well as check out my website. The one thing I would say is that I am offering free strategy calls to people who are ready to up level the leadership journey. Typically, a session costs $750, but I'm offering free. So that's because of my relationship with Pace and with Vitui. So it's something I do kindly as a gesture. Take advantage of this opportunity. It's only available for 24 hours. After that, I'm going to charge you. So reach out to me by email, phone. Now that this presentation is over, I'd love to just take the opportunity to answer any questions you all might have or any comments.
Thank you, Kang. Thank you very much. Just before we go to the questions, I want to ask, I put it in the chat. We have surveys. Please give feedback on the surveys once you exit the workshop. It helps us to improve the workshops, the topics that we bring in. So we will be grateful if you can complete. It's only like 5 questions fast. Please just spend a minute or two, complete those surveys. And now with the about this workshop, if you have any question, please raise your hand. I can unmute you and I can, you can ask your questions. Nadia asked, do you know any company which has the box breathing as a daily practice within the working hours?
Nadia, that's a great question, and it's good to see you again. I know you're pretty consistent with my webinar, so I appreciate you being here. And that's one great sign of being a leader is that you're consistent. So appreciate your presence. I do not know of any companies that can offer box breathing techniques on a daily basis during working hours. However, I would suggest that let's say if you're at a job hunt, is to talk to recruiters and say, what's your view on work-life balance? And the reason why you would want to ask them that question is because a lot of employers are doing a lot of they're allowing opportunities for their employees to achieve work-life balance, maybe take longer work breaks or drive home and come back. Like there are companies out there that are allowing employees to be more I would say stressless. And like for example, Apple, like bigger companies like Apple and Facebook, like they built in gyms at their facilities, at their campuses, so that as employees work, they can take some breaks and just go work out and come back, right? Apple, they have cafeterias within the campus. So instead of traveling to get something for lunch and come back, which saves you time, you're able to just go to the cafeteria and just buy food and it's free. And so like these are companies that you could, check out and interview and say, share more about, work-life balance, what your well-being program looks like. Because, it gives you an understanding of how they're treating their employees. And if they offer these perks already, then most likely they'll probably allow you as an employee to, incorporate some of these meditative mindfulness exercises during your working hours. I hope that makes sense, Nadia.
May I add something? As you said, many companies, bigger ones especially, they may, provide, different like facility services for the employees. And that's an employee side. I think, on the individual side, we have to practice this. We have to make the habit of doing it. So it is not always coming from it's inside, we have to do it, we have to practice it, we have to get the habit. And regardless where we are, maybe 2 minutes is nothing, even you are sitting behind your desk, you can practice it. So that would be my take, we should not wait for the, employer to give us that time or box, because it's really very, very short. We can practice it. We have to build that habit inside us. We have to practice, build the habit, and then practice it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Leadership is really an inside out job. And so in order to see transformation, you have to consistently practice it. I think there's been a lot of research around it. It's like some people said 28 days, others says 34 days, but the intention is to practice it every day, right? It should be an everyday practice. And the more you practice it, the better you become as a leader. The next question here is
before we go to the next question, there are like a couple of comments there. They have asked how they can take the advantage of your offer. First of all, thank you, Kang, for the offer. It is very generous. So anyone who wants to take the advantage of that offer, please feel free to connect with Kang directly. I will share his phone number and email, and you can contact with him directly. And the next question is, can you please redefine purpose and also let us know if it is a singular thing or one can have multiple purposes?
Yeah, so this question was from
this is from Kelia.
Okay. So redefine purpose and also let us know if it's a singular thing or one can have multiple purposes. So I'll answer the latter of the questions. You can have multiple purposes. And the reason why is because you have multiple identities. For example, your mother and aunts, or if you're a guy, your dad, your uncle, you're an employee, you're a member of society, a community member. So there are multiple identities. So because of that, there are multiple purposes, right? And purpose is defined as, think of it as your calling, why you're here on earth, right? Like it's who you are, your sense of being, your values, and how your sense of being and values are tied to the impact you make in the world. Okay. So that's in a nutshell what purpose is defined as. I hope that answers your question. But the most important thing to keep in mind is that purpose is is an ever evolving journey, because we as human beings, we're always evolving. We grow, life changes who we are. We have kids, we become grandkids, we have grandkids, and so we become, grandparents. And so it's always important to assess on a regular basis what your purpose is and how it's showing up. You could put it on your calendar, every 30, 60, 90 days, reassess your purpose statement. I would advise you to write your purpose statement on a sheet of paper. Who you are, what your values are, and how you're making an impact in the world. Like those are the three elements of purpose statement. And the more you read it every day, you live in it. And it should become so natural that if someone were to ask you what your purpose statement is, you could just say it without even thinking, right? And when you're going through challenging moments in your life, and we all have our own challenges, right? Personal, professional. Remind yourself what your purpose is, right? That's a great opportunity, a great moment to, you know, to refresh your mind and say, you know what, maybe this situation is teaching me something. Let me revisit what my purpose statement is, and that could really give you a sense of meaning in sense of understanding in the world. I hope that makes sense. Okay.
Jan or John, like, I'm sorry if I'm, pronouncing your name. I hope it's correct. There is a book. There is a great book by Vishen Lakiani,
Yeah.
Finder of Mind Valley.
Yeah.
Like, did you see that comment?
Yeah, well, I don't see that comment. Yeah, I'm scrolling through it, but I do know the organization Mind Valley for sure. Yes.
Okay, okay. So
Yeah.
let's go down.
So, yeah, so Vishen Lakiani is one of those wonderful, um, intelligent, just overall talented entrepreneur. And if you haven't heard of him, Google his work. He runs his company called Mind Valley, and they do a lot of meditation work, getting people to be more aware of their conscious and subconscious minds, and really level up people more of a consciousness perspective. And so it's great for those that are looking for to be more in tune with their self-awareness, their consciousness, their being in the world. It's a great organization to be a part of. Yeah. And they host conferences once a year here in LA, maybe twice a year. But it's if you're in LA and you're looking to attend in person, I highly suggest you to do so.
Mhm. Okay. Nadia suggested that you have to do a workshop about public speaking leadership because you give extremely good feedbacks to us. Okay, that's good.
Thank you.
So, yeah, we have Margarita asked a question, two questions, and she asked, "How do you stay focused on the purpose?" And and then she continues, "There are many distractions and obstacles."
Yeah, that's a great question. So again, alluding back to what we said earlier, it's a habit. You have to practice saying your purpose statement out loud in the mirror, memorizing it, live it out, right? And when you practice it, live it out, you're teaching your body to embody that spirit of purpose, right? The spirit of purpose driven, the spirit of growth and resilience and presence. And so when life throws challenges your way, you're not caught off guard like you used to, like your old version might be caught off guard, but you will not be because you're more in tune with yourself from that perspective. Does that make sense?
Margarita, feel free, if you want me to unmute you, feel free to raise your hand. I can do it. Okay, yes, it does.
Okay, good. That's a great question, by the way, Margarita. Again, it's just a habit, just like anything, whether that's losing weight or quit smoking or any kind of habit, or not just like bad habits, but also good habits too, like reading more books or listen to more podcasts or engaging with your kids more often. Like these are all habits, and I would suggest that you read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. Great book, teaches you how to achieve your goals through the power of habit stacking. And in the book, he essentially says, you're not successful or you're not able to reach your goals because um, you're ambitious. It's because you have systems and habits in place. When you're able to build habits and habits are built systems, then you will be more likely to achieve your goals, if that makes sense. Yeah, Mindvalley is now a $100 million company. I think they're probably even more than that, I would say. I would not be surprised. But they're all international now. And it's a great, they also have an app too. And if you buy their membership, you get access to their app, and they have all these courses online. You can just, listen to it on your phone, like a master class, and they take you through the courses. They give you some homework, and it's a great company. I mean, I've been following Mindvalley for quite a while, so I highly recommend it. But again, like I said, a lot of this work is, I call it the 70-20-10 rule, right? So it's a learning model, by the way. 10% of the content, 10% of the transformation work is around consuming content and webinars like this. So if you want to transform your work, you're only doing 10% of the work, right? 20% you're learning it with other people. You're talking about these concepts with your peers, with your colleagues, your coworkers. That's only 20% of the transformation. 70% of the work comes from working with a coach like myself and implementing the concepts, the work, right? So a large part of the transformation comes from working with a coach like myself, doing the work, implement it into your daily lives, into your professional and personal lives to transform yourself. And so all of my clients they've been transformed in so many meaningful ways. And because of that, they have become better leaders. I would say the best investment that you can ever make is on yourself, not your career, not your business, but on you. Because the skills that you're able to acquire, you will always have. You will never take it away. People will never take it away from you. Your character, your integrity, your mindset, your values, your leadership, all of that, right? And so that's where a coach comes in. Is I'm able to help you uncover your blind spots, to help you up level. You think about the greatest athletes, the greatest entrepreneurs that all have a coach. I myself, I have a coach, but I'm also considered a coach of coaches. I coach other people too. And I coach entrepreneurs and business leaders and business owners too. So always have a coach. That's my biggest advice. Whether it's with me, I'd love to, but if not, hire a coach. Any other questions, folks? I see there's still 28 of you, 27.
Any other question? If you would like to raise your hand, I can unmute you and you can ask your question. Please feel free to raise your hand. Thank you, Margarita. She said this presentation is so motivational. Thank you.
Good. My job is done.
Okay, it looks like there are no more questions. Again, as Kang mentioned, he's generously offering, consultation, which is very costly if you want to do it, with him separately. But as being a part of this workshop and working with PACE, he's offering this to participants. Please, take advantage of that offer. If you are interested, connect with him, and then you will take it from there. So if there are no more questions, just again, please complete the survey. Once you click end or leave, please complete the survey and give us your feedback. If you like more of different type of presentations, we can bring them to you. Just want to say thank you again. Thank you, Kang, so much for your, for your time, for your, presentation. And then let's. I will share the flyer with all the participants later. Once we have the flyer for the next 3 sessions, I will share it with you guys. And hopefully, we will see you next year. And I just want to wish all of you a very, successful, new year, and wishing you happy holidays in advance. and hopefully we'll see you like in January. Thank you.
Everyone, appreciate your time and happy holidays.
Thank you.